All right, so welcome to another 902 gaming video, and today I'm going to be going over a deck that I've been playing recently involving Rabble Rousing. And essentially what I want to do is be able to cast stuff for free from it. So what I did was try to find whatever I can play that makes the most amount of tokens so I can actually try to cast it as fast as humanly possible. And what I came up with was playing Hallowed Haunting alongside Rabble Rousing. And this allows you to actually play a few more enchantments that also create creatures, Wedding Announcement, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. And then you have more creatures basically to be able to activate the hideaway from this and play stuff for free. Then there are also all enchantments as well, which allow you to trigger Hallowed Haunting, which also creates more creatures. And then we have the small package of the Restoration of a Ganjo and the Spirited Companion. Now, when the Restoration of a Ganjo flips, it also can block, and when it attacks, it creates more tokens for you. So essentially, this is almost every card in the deck creates some amount of tokens. In the first game that you watch in this video, I did have Skittering Battalion in the deck, but I decided to remove them after that game just because they seemed like a win more card. It also made more tokens, but it was just a bit of a win more card. Essentially, this was all I needed. This and maybe a Wedding Announcements and the Hallowed Haunting is all I needed to win the game. So it was a little bit of overkill, and I plus needed some more spells and ways to interact with my opponent. And then in the sideboard, we basically just have 4 Depopulates, 4 Maniform Hellkites, 4 Sarah Paragons, a Jaya, and a couple of Farewells. Basically, I can just swap out stuff if my opponent's playing a lot of enchantment removal, which they tend to do on Arena, and just, have some mass removal, be able to try to attrition out my opponent with Maniform Hellkite, playing all my extra enchantments and stuff and my removal spells to be able to create a whole bunch of dragon tokens and essentially win the game that way. Or I can actually recur stuff with Sarah Paragon. I can recur the 2 best 3 drops in the format, Wedding Announcement and Fable of the Mirror Breaker. So being able to constantly get those back can generate card advantage and generate a bunch of tokens and stuff that you can win with. But yeah, that's the deck, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Playing with Rabble Rousing, trying to actually get this card to work. Okay. Okay. Uh-oh, we got the Spirited Companion. Sweet. Let's draw a card. And then next turn, if they kill it, we have the Restoration. Okay, well, there's the land. Or I'll block and then play Restoration of a Ganjo. There's another land. Perfect. Perfect. I don't know if this card's any good. Sometimes it feels good and sometimes it feels horrible. Alright, discard that plains. Get the companion back. Draw a card. Okay, another land. That's pretty sweet. Exactly how I wanted it to go. I will just play the Fable then. I think this card is underrated. I think this card's actually pretty good considering it's basically a split card. Either a body that deals 2 damage or it's a spell that deals 2 damage. Sweet. Mountain. Let's play the Mountain Note. Let's play Rabble Rousing. Ugh. Well, I have this, and I have this. Probably be this, I think. No, my tokens. These are interesting. Opponent's drawing a lot of lands for a red deck. Okay. They probably have a way to kill the architect. Yep. That's fine. Okay, more land. That's what we wanted. We did want more land. So 4, 5, 6. So I'll be able to cast this. Hey. Nice. Hey, it's because I didn't have 10 creatures while this triggered. Okay.
Deal 3 damage to me?
Well, this is a good depiction of Rabble Rousing. Actually, be able to cast the Skitter Beam Battalion off of the Rabble Rousing is pretty sweet. I guess it's a little bit of a non-bow when you get to cast, because you do this at the beginning of combat. Which doesn't allow this thing to attack, but it does give you a pretty big blocker. Play one more match with this deck. So I did make some changes. I took out the Skittering Battalion. It didn't quite work the way that I thought it would work. I thought it would be able to come into play and attack as well, but can't. I thought there might be some timing there where it would actually be able to attack, but it does not. So I removed it, added just some more removal and stuff. Sure. Not great. Was I on the draw? That's even worse if I'm on the draw. Let's play Plains and pass. I added some more removal as well, like Destroy Evil. Just to have more ways of interaction with my opponent. So one thing the deck was lacking. It wasn't lacking on ability to win the game, actually, with Rabble Rousing. So I didn't need... Skittering Battalion was a little bit of a win more card. It's kind of cool to see it cast from Rabble Rousing, but it's not necessary. Okay. We'll just play out the Haunting. Now next turn I have Fable and Destroy Evil if I want. Let's go to combat. Fateful Absence is good, but this generally has more targets. Draw. There's the Rabble Rousing. Rebel. This card doesn't seem to be too hard to flip. Okay, we're playing blue-green. I think we just cast Rabble Rousing here. And we just get another Rabble Rousing underneath. Go to combat. So 9 creatures I made that turn. One shy. So they're ramp. So I think I'm going to take that out. Get some Depop out. And maybe play a Farewell as well. I don't really need the single target, just in case they can ramp into big things. I want to be able to actually just get rid of them. Okay. Double dog. Nice. Okay. They're playing a completely different deck than I thought they were. I feel like I should kill it, but I'm probably not going to be able to, so I might as well play this. They could have a counterspell. We might discard a Haunting here, maybe. I don't know, though. Depends. Depends what I draw here. Okay. Yeah, they're playing the Boggles deck. Yeah, just discard this. Bring it back. Combo. And I drew another one. Okay. Well, they definitely have some type of protection spell over there. I don't have enough mana really to do anything else besides cast this. I mean, they could have Spell Pierce too, I guess, but that's fine. Next turn, I can play the Sokenzon and cast Rabble Rousing. See what happens there. Oh, he attack with this too. Sure. Whenever they cast a spell, okay. I don't have any mana, so all right, let's go. Does this thing have trample? It does have trample. I gave my creature away for nothing. That was the card I was expecting earlier. So they're playing Tamiyo's protection spell, I'm sure. This card just seems like a little bit of a win more. Cool. Can they just keep going? Is this infinite? No, they would need to draw cards, so it's not infinite. Nope. Unclick that, please. Okay, well, I still drew the land. All right, well, just exile creatures and all artifacts. See if they have a counterspell. Don't. Cool. All right. You really want me to cast Rabble Rousing? I will. Probably that, I guess. This is kind of a decent way to draw a card, I guess. And commit to the board. Kind of. So you can attack and then 4/6. I will probably trade. How much damage could they possibly do? The plan was just to block with 3, but now you forced me to block with all 4. I might as well. Rebel. Well, I can't block flyers, so. Oh, except it's not legendary. Okay. You can make a bunch of these. Does that go infinite? No, it doesn't. Nice. Okay. Smunchy? GG's. Well, that was pretty good, I think. Rabble Rousing is kind of crazy if your opponent's not playing any mass removal or any sweepers or anything like that. Kind of nutso. As you saw in both of those matchups, Rabble Rousing was actually one of the best cards in the deck, although it did combine very well with Hallowed Haunting to give me some more creatures to sort of make a wider attack force. Restoration of Agandra helps you get your lands, have removal basically. So you just want to set up and either go maybe Spirited Companion into Wedding Announcement, into Hallowed Haunting, into Rabble Rousing. And then you just follow it up with multiple different enchantments and stuff like that. And then eventually you just kind of get away with just overwhelming the board. And as long as your opponent's not playing any sweepers or anything like that, then you're in good shape. They'll have a hard time, because I find most of the Mardu decks and the Grixis decks, they don't run sweepers in the main deck. They may run one Grixis command. Yeah, they might run one of these, which can destroy some of your creatures. One of the reasons why I actually put Hallowed Haunting into the deck, because the creatures can actually get a bit bigger than the 2 power. These tend to always be 1 power, unless I have multiple copies of Wedding Announcements. That doesn't happen very often. This originally, there was more copies of this. Originally, the deck was just 4 copies of this and Hallowed Haunting, and then I was getting overrun just by random creatures constantly, so I had to sort of tone this part down and actually put some more removal, like some enchantment removal, Destroy Evil, and some Abrades, some Borrow Time as well. This card can, I mean, in all likelihood, red could probably be cut from this deck, but I think just having access to an Abrade and Fable of the Mirror Breaker is also really good. But yeah, I didn't really need to have anything that was like overwhelming, like the Skittering Battalion that I had originally in game 1. I did change it to remove those and add more removal spells, just because it wasn't necessary, and the Stentia Uprising wasn't necessary as well for creature generation because it's fine for making a 1/1, but it'll rarely ever deal 7 damage. Because I'll almost always have more than 13 permanents out. And then we just kind of go to the sideboard, and the sideboard is essentially like the Naya deck that I was playing the other day. Naya enchantments. So essentially this, but it was playing a little bit of green for playing the Jukai Naturalist. It was playing green for this. This didn't really matter that much. It was okay. It was another thing to return with the Restoration of Iganjo, but I didn't think it was worth skewing the mana base for. So we can kind of take out, like, we can probably take out like Hallowed Haunting, probably take out Rabble Rousing, and maybe some of this stuff here, and then just kind of become like a board control deck, and then bring in the Maniform Hellkites and the Sarah Paragons, and maybe some of the removal and the Jaya, and then you're just basically a kind of a board control deck where you'll win with Maniform Hellkite, or you'll just recur stuff like Wedding Announcement or Fable of the Mirror Breaker with Sarah Paragon, and get those out and just kind of beat your opponent by attrition. So again, it's another transitional sideboard that I do like playing. The deck's pretty good. Does require a lot of rares, so I wouldn't say it's a lot of mythics too, actually. So I wouldn't say it is budget friendly, unfortunately. But I'm sure if I think Rabble Rousing comes with one of the precons or something like that. Might actually be 4 of them. You can probably fit it in somehow. You don't need to play this. You can just play tokens, maybe just red-white tokens. There are other non-rares and non-mythics that you could actually put into the deck if you wanted to. Really enjoy this video, and I'll see you in the next one.